Obviously a tough loss for our guys. They did a good job of taking away the three-point line. We tried to get out in transition against these guys. We did a good job offensive rebounding. But where the game was won was by New Orleans. You give them a lot of credit, but we went through a stretch in the second quarter where we had, 3, 4, 5 turnovers, if not more, that really cost us. And it was one of the things we said against these guys is you can't play in the crowd. And we played in the crowd and had some bad turnovers during that period. And, that was the one quarter they won. When you turn the ball over against these guys, they're so good at getting out in transition and making you pay that it's hard to play catch up when that happens. But our guys, they competed. They tried to leave it out on the floor. Like I said, the turnovers caught up with us. Other than that, we tried to get out in transition. Our second chance opportunities were good. And then you've got to give their bench a lot of credit. I thought Alvarado and Nance and Marshall, they came off the bench and they scored a combined 34 points. And, when you play in a game of this magnitude and as low scoring as this is, to get 34 points from your bench, tough. It's a great night for them, tough night for us. Obviously, our two young fellas, Keegan and Keon, struggled a little bit from the field. They were 4 for 17 between the two of them, and then we didn't get much from Davion on the bench, but we didn't get much except from Davion coming off our bench. So it made it a little tough for us scoring the basketball tonight. But our guys competed, and I take my hat off to them because they competed the whole season.
Yeah, I know it's early, but how do you take 2 steps back and look at the season?
Yeah, it's a little tough. Right now, I'm still thinking about this game and the loss. But I give our guys a lot of credit. They faced some stuff this season that they didn't face the season before, and they tried staying with it, tried battling through it, and we just came up short when we were hoping not to.
Mikey, you talked about the size of your roster, at least not having with the biggest team. We don't know what the offseason is going to look like in terms of roster construction and those things. But when you look forward, how do you envision being able to score better against some of these longer teams like the Pelicans?
We got to be able to get in the paint. We got to be able to finish. We got to play with some aggression offensively. And I told our group that I thought we'd try to come out and play physical, but I thought the only area that I thought we were not great in for a whole game, obviously the turnovers hurt us, but I thought we were a little passive offensively, and we didn't, not all of us were aggressive with our play tonight, and so we have to be able to get the ball in the paint and continue. If you draw 3 guys, it's hard to finish over 3 guys. So you got to play off of 2 and you got to spray it. You can't try to throw little drop passes against this team, a team like this. But if you get down if you got a head full of steam and you're heading to the rim, you got to be able to finish. You got to be able to get to the free throw line and convert. And I thought through, especially early, we didn't do a good job with that. So we have to be able to do better with that, not just against these guys, but just overall going forward.
Mike dealt with the hit on the second quarter, obviously, but it was pretty cold early on. What do you think led to that? What's your message?
But I think
Kind of led to him being a little cold early on.
I thought Keaton could have been a little bit more aggressive. Even when he didn't have the ball, he was dancing in one spot too much, and when he's really good, if he doesn't have the ball, he might make a move, but then he's making a basket cut, and then he's surfacing out the other side, and and coming off of DHOs, trying to turn the corner and stuff like that. And he probably could have been a little more aggressive. I don't know what to make of the hip injury, if you were asking. But that, other than that, he's a young guy going through this, and I'm sure he's going to grow from it and realize what he can do better to help us going forward, like everybody else can.
Mike, I realize it's too early to look at the season as a whole, but what about this week? It feels kind of reflective of the season, the highs and the lows, the Warriors win, followed by this loss tonight. What do you make of this team that had such peaks and such valleys over the course of the season? What is it going to take, you think, to find kind of that consistency over the course of 82 or this season before?
Just from my initial thing, a lot of times that's what the season is. It's highs and lows. You hope you don't have too many. And obviously it just gets to, to really just trying to be consistent with what your approach is, consistent with how you play, doing all the little things that you can to put yourself in position to win. But, we'll take time to sit back and reflect on the season as time goes on. It's obviously was a tough loss for us. And we know we could have played better, but it is what it is. They beat us, and they earned it. But we'll figure it out. We'll be better next year.
Well, you had mentioned the bench scoring. Just what did you make of your performance from De'Aaron and Domas? And how do you view just sort of their seasons overall?
Obviously, look back and reflect on their overall season, but I thought they both tried. I thought they both left it out on the floor. And the reality of it is, two of those guys scored 58 points, and HB helped out with the 17, but we didn't get much help. They didn't get much help from many other guys. Davion came off the bench and scored 10, but we need a little bit more from a few other guys in order to be able to get it done tonight. Because 105 points is not a ton. You look at 7 for 19 from the three-point line. We did our job with the three. Like I said, the biggest thing is the turnovers. If we could have taken care of the ball better, that would have helped us out, and then been able to find ways to get some scoring someplace else other than Fox and Domas and HB. It would have been good.
Coach, 0-6 against the Pelicans this season. What is it about this matchup that maybe is just kryptonite for you guys?
You guys give it. They're good. They're long. They're athletic. Like I said, we've been hurt by the three by these guys, and we turn the ball over against these guys. And for us, we have to be the aggressors offensively, but we have to do it in a way where we're taking care of the ball. And it seems like every time they go on a run, it's obviously because we're trying to thread the needle with our passes, and our floor balance is poor, and they get out and they create separation, and they're a good team. When they create separation, it's not easy to get back into the game, and that seems like most of the year that was the theme against these guys. Is there's a stretch where we just weren't as sharp with the basketball, and they made us pay, which gave them momentum during that time of the game, and hard to crawl back in.
Mike, what's your overall takeaways from just the West this year? That's a 49-win team that barely made it in. I mean, the West was just so brutal this year, but having experienced it from your seat, what do you make of just this Western Conference?
Yeah, man, the West is tough. I don't know. Again, just off the top of my head, I don't know if I've seen a more competitive conference like this from top to bottom, and literally, I think anybody can beat anybody on any given night.
Anything else, Coach?
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.